Thank you for having me here. My name is Roy Gitahi, and I am the founder and CEO of a company called Art at Work. Art at Work deals with facilitating sustainable jobs in arts and sports. We talk about when we were growing up, you're told to become a doctor, a lawyer, an engineer, a pilot. I am sure you got the memo, an architect, and those kind of things. But if you ask this generation what they want to become, they want to become musicians, dancers, bloggers, vloggers, and the question becomes, where will we take, or what will we do with this generation? And so Art at Work now looks at how do we now start creating sustainable jobs for this shift in this shift of careers of what people want to become. It simply just came to Art at Work, and because what are you doing? You're basically making art work for those who are stakeholders in the industry, and that's how it started. We started off as a small gallery in Lavington, and organically we have grown to what it is that we are today. Yeah. Wow, a very good question. There are many, all right. There are very many, and I'll take it from a stakeholder point of view, all right. Stakeholders here being the creatives themselves, and you have so many genres of people who are there. Whether you're in art, whether you're in music, whether you're in film, whether you're in dance, whether you're in TV production, there are opportunities for you. What usually happens is that the process of monetizing the creative talent is what has been lacking. So you find that yes, you're talented, you're very good, but you're not making any money. All right. And so how then do we ensure that that process is rewarding at the end of the day? Because there are very many silent creatives that I meet who have been told, "Any utakula nini?" This thing of you coming back to my home to ask for food, hatutaki. So some of the things that now we begin to now address are those issues. How will people be able to make money from their crafts? How will they be able to make money from their trade? How will they run their businesses, as a business, right? That kind of thing is what it is that we are building. So, in terms of how will people be able to monetize their products, that is the opportunity for them, so that you find whatever area that you're going to venture into, you will be able to make money. You will be able to have a livelihood. As a stakeholder who's an investor, especially when you're putting money into a venture, into film, into dance, into art, into any of those particular things, I think the question then there becomes is that will you get a return on investment? And those structures, once they are established, you'll be able to see where your money is going in, what your money is going to do, where the market for that particular product is going to be, and how you're going to get paid. So we're now trying to bring transparency into that particular process. If you're looking at even government as a stakeholder, we are looking at how we facilitating the creation of employment, how we facilitating the creation of income opportunities, how are we now looking at contribution to the exchequer. Because the thing is, when government is looking at people, they're like, are you contributing tax or are you not? So the thing is then that determines whether they're going to invest in that particular sector. But I believe we should be able to see jobs being created easily. I see opportunities for income, and I do see opportunities for revenue to the tax authority. Well, yes, there's a lot of, education that needs to go into it. But I always say we are fortunate to be in this part of the world where monkey see, monkey do, okay? And so the thing is, why do people invest? It's because they've actually seen success in that particular thing. And for us, I think it would be simple to create success in the creative sector so that people now say, I would want to be in the creative sector because they've seen the success that is there, that is replicable, and that people can actually be able to do that. So it's something that is actually ongoing. A lot of education will be done. We already started that with banks, where we're doing that with government, with the creatives themselves. We are also now trying to get structures put in place and educating people about those particular structures. we're not separating the creative talent from the business. So there's the art, and then there's the work. All right. So that's what we're now separating, and it's very simple things. Like for example, there is you or Roy, the musician. All right. I'm actually a thespian, so yeah, drama. Okay. So there's Roy, the thespian, and then there's the business. All right, and you need to be able to separate those two. All right, you need to separate the two. So the talent is where you sing, you dance, you do all these kind of things, but when you get paid, that's the business. Okay, and so we started off with a very simple thing. Number one, many businesses, many entities in the creative sector are actually business names. So even when you're talking about MSMEs, all right, MSMEs are defined by registration. All right, so we're now going through a process where we're going to help MSMEs register, all right, as limited liability companies. All right, and that's a partnership we already have with government that we're now doing. Once those MSMEs come up, what we now want is the intellectual property to be held by, all right, those assets will be held by the company, which then makes it easy for someone to be able to sell shares within that particular company, and the investor in those companies can now be able to get dividends based on the revenue that is being created by that particular IP. So that becomes the first step, that you can actually invest in a business with this creative. You can also then invest in a space that then attracts or provides services to that particular creative. There are studios, there's TV studios that can actually be done. So you have a real estate space. Can you now bring in the equipment to be able now to help these creatives create content? Okay. So there are opportunities for that. So if you've got this large vacant space that you don't know what to do with, it can actually be set up in a way that now for TV production, it can actually be done for film. When we were growing up, we had all these sitcoms. They used to be called sitcoms. It's basically a set that is put on somewhere, and then people sit and you're allowed to come in and do a live studio audience. So when guys are laughing, they're actually laughing for real because of something that has happened. It's a space, all right? And in those particular spaces, you can actually then charge either for production, or when the content now comes out, you can sell to a broadcaster, a TV station, and that kind of thing. So that's another opportunity, especially when you're trying to think real estate and those particular spaces. Of course, there are opportunities, especially if you have done IP, if you own the rights of that particular content, and if it goes on YouTube, it goes on, it's actually bought out by a major company. Then there's revenue that you can actually be able to create from the screening of those products or that production. So the opportunities then begin to expand from that particular space. Do you want to do the HR side of it, where you now get the actors or the content providers, so that you can actually then get a market for them? Do you want to manage them? There's space for that, and all these opportunities as they come up will be put to the public forums, so that people can now begin to start putting money into the particular space. Yeah. Yeah, the future is bright. Very, very. For the creative sector, wacha kujenga nyumba. Invest in the creative sector. I think that you get a much larger return on investment should you be able to invest in this particular space. It's a choice. You know, many choices in businesses, by the way, are determined by someone's appetite or desire to invest. That's number one. It's also determined by how much capital that you have. It's also determined by the competencies that you have. I mean, I wouldn't open a butchery. I have no idea. I know how a cow looks like, but you tell me that you cut fillet, so and to each his own. And I think we can be able to. There's a process that then people can be able to follow. If you want to also align with your businesses, like I mentioned, in HR? What are the additional services that you are doing? Yes, people want to provide executives to companies, but when these companies now come up that are going to require content creators, what is the HR firm that is going to give you those actors, those dancers, those musicians? And it's a category of human capital. So those are the kind of things that we're looking at. The mistakes in the creative sector are huge, numerous, phenomenal, they're titanic. So, and the simple results start with registration. How you registered, how you set up, how you structured, how is the governance of of how do you run your own company? And people forget that talent, content, outputs is also a business, all right? And so the thing is, you find I'm a star. It doesn't end there. The thing is basically how are you running your business? When you get your money, most people think it's my money, so you spend it, all of it. Yet, if you had a structure behind you, you would know that the next time I get paid is in March, or the next time I get paid is in September or December. How then do I stretch the amount of money that I actually have? So these guys never pay themselves a salary. All right, they will never pay themselves a salary first. And I think the first rule in business: pay yourself first. All right. So those are the kind of things that we are now that we look at. Then, of course, in terms of when you're building a company, most people want to go it alone. I'm the star. It is Roy. It is me. Why should you be involved? If you look at companies like Sauti Sol, all right, Sauti Sol is a company. All right, it's a media company. You guys know the four guys, but at the end of the day, behind them, there's a lot where they begin to realize that, like for me, I could go 2 days without sleeping. We have gone for party. I was younger. 9 o'clock is my new midnight. All right, I cannot be able to pull off that stand. Things have changed. Your body does not respond the way it used to respond, and so if you think you're a star now, and that you can do concert after concert after concert after concert, 5 years, 10 years later, you will not have the energy to be able to do that. Your crowd, the guys who loved your music, by the way, now are referring to you as the R. Kelly of those days. You know, so you need to actually think, when my revenues begin to drop as a result of less performances or less work, what other activities can I be able now to undertake? The money that you have, how are you investing it? What are you putting your money into? And this is where now you open up opportunities for people who are now in investments, where you open up opportunities for people who are in real estate, where you can put your money into a house to be able to receive rental income. The people who do capital markets, you can actually now start. This is where now they start getting opportunities. Because there's cash that will be present. The question is how is that cash making more cash for this guy? Things like pensions, nakadhalika, healthcare are areas that you can do that. So you end up seeing organizations like insurance companies, investment companies, then beginning to get opportunities to be able to support the creative space. It's hard to say. It's very, very hard to say, because the thing is, there's always room for improvement. I always say start now, because even the worst TikTok has got audience. Like, what is this guy trying? What is this guy doing? But as you continue the consistency, people then you start creating what is called a fan base. People who will actually follow up on, oh, by the way, what is she doing? What is he doing? What is that kind of thing? So that's the fan base that you create. You actually get paid by your viewers, those people who keep coming back, those people who keep saying. Now that's what you call your followers. All right, you don't buy them. You basically have to build them. It has to be organic over time, because it's your content that is drawing them to you. So there are no actual milestones that say now is when you start your business. No, there's nothing like that. You need to start as soon as possible. Registration for your business, how do you do it? So those are the kind of things that we need to educate people about. When you get money, how do you do it? How do you structure your business in a way that you become an employee of your own company? All right. When you grow, how do you diversify your areas of revenue? You're a musician. You can grow a brand. You can do a clothing line. You can do a perfume line. You can even do a book line if you really if you're the bookworm musician. That kind of thing. You can diversify by mentoring upcoming new creatives. You can start a school if you need to do the same. So those kind of things then become the opportunities that you need for the creative space. Start as soon as possible. There are different avenues where there's no experience needed. I mean, talent is talent. Yeah. Technology plays a role. Today, your TikTok is on your phone. Your YouTube is on your phone. The consumption, TV, everything. No one actually picks a book to read. Actually, let me see TikTok in words. No, it doesn't happen. Technology does play a role. We now need to start thinking about how do we consolidate data, how do we consolidate that particular content, make it common so that we can actually have a platform. I usually ask, why are we using Shutterstock or Jet Images or Nakadhalika? Yani a lion, this one in the Masai Mara. We even have a name for it. And then you have to go get it from Jet Images for $100. Are you crazy? I should actually go out there, take a picture of a lion, put it on a Kenyan version of Shutterstock or Jet Images, and see what needs to be done. That's it, and monetize it. Not that we have to rely on foreign entities. I mean, how many website creators have actually done content the way? I mean, how many use foreign lions instead of using from a local photographer? That's how you create content for photographers, even at this particular point. So there is opportunity for technology to be used. There's a large space for technology to be used. Coders are also part of this. Gamers are part of the creative space. Animators are also part of the creative space. The question is then how do we bring these people to tell a story that is expressed through gaming, through animation, through comics, and that kind of thing. The thing I've learned about money is it's just a product, all right? It's a series of activities that leads to money. It's not money that leads to a series of activities. When money leads to a series of activities, those are called vices. They're vices. Yes, you get into trouble when you do that. It's the other way around. There's serious character development. For me, it has been serious character development in terms of how patient you have to get, how structured you have to get, how disciplined you have to get. That I'm not sure whether it was Michael Jackson who said it or somebody who eclaired on him that he said it, but it's just 10% talent, 90% hard work. And just the way Kenyans are, hard work is a problem, all right? So we don't do much of that. And so people are immensely talented, but you ask them to put in the work, they're not going to wake up at 5 o'clock to go do music practice. La 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 la. Hiyo najua. Yeah, for who? And you come from a party. Go back home. No, my fans, ni lazima niongee na. What are you doing? All right. And so at the end of the day, you end up in a situation where you have very many bad decisions. Not because you're not a good talent. It is because you're a good talent that has made very many bad decisions. And so you find people dying or coming to the end of life or medical muchango. They've died muchango. Their families muchango. So that's where we are, and that's what now we're trying to break in that particular cycle. How do we create welfare, healthcare, pensions that will now be able to help you, investments that basically live longer than you, you know, not buying at the flashiest car. You know, these are the things you need to be investing in, real estate or something like that. Because when you are now old and frail, and guys are watching you and going like, "Hey, that guy used to play football." You're wondering, that old man, the guy in a wheelchair, But the thing is, the money he made during the time when he or she was at their prime is now generating income for them. There's a lot of discipline. There's a lot of hard work that goes into this. I think the best thing is to start. Then everything else will basically fall in place. So the way Art at Work is structuring the creative sector is by building institutions that help you at every stage. Then it's just going to be a very dummy-proof thing to do. To get into the creative sector will just be almost idiot-proof, because immediately you're a creative and you want to get into showcasing your talent. Where do you go? And then there's an institution that you'll go to. These guys identify your talent, they know where it is that you are, they can be able to grade you, they can be able to curate your work, they can be able to help you build a database of your work, they can be able to brand you and stuff. Once you've done that, there's another institution that then markets your particular product. Where does it go? On what platforms is it going to be on? And that kind of thing. There's another institution, which is the financial sector, that's going to help you. How do you get paid? How do you earn? How do you license? How do you protect your IP? How do you leverage on your IP? There will be another institution for that. And so it will be just as simple as saying, I'm talented. I want to do A, B, C, D. And then we'll tell you, here, others have gone before you. Therefore, this is the way that you should be able to follow. And that's it.